Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
I'm pleased to say that joining us around the table here in New York, Rick Wurster, the president and CEO of Schwab. Rick, it's good to see you, sir.
Jonathan, thanks for having me in.
Approaching 100 days in the job, have you slept?
It's been a busy period. We've been actively supporting our clients and helping them get to where they need to be in their financial life. So probably not as much sleep as I would like.
I'm sure you're probably not going to catch up on sleep anytime soon, given the headlines we've got elsewhere. Looking at those 44 million client accounts, just help us understand what activities look like, how they're responding to all of this incoming information.
Our clients are actively engaged. Last year we did about 6 million trades a day on average. In January we did 7 million. We're doing even more the last 6 weeks. So our clients are engaged. We're not seeing any signs of significant nervousness. In fact, we've seen our margin levels over the last month stay relatively flat. Those with margin have been leaning into equities the last week. You know, I went and visited 5 of our retail branches in North Carolina yesterday, and I walked into our Raleigh branch and met Gloria, who's at our front desk, and I asked her, Gloria, what are clients saying when they come in our doors? Are they nervous? And she said, you know what, we've had a couple that are nervous, but more than anything, they're bringing in checks, and they want to get more money into the market. So I thought that was a good sign.
This is fascinating, and it really skews with some of what we're hearing from Wall Street analysts who are saying we're just looking for the right levels to buy the dip. And it sounds like retail investors have been conditioned in the same way. At what point are you going to get worried that maybe they're being conditioned in the wrong way, say, if there isn't that bounce that we've become used to?
Well, in the 70s, Chuck wrote our investing principles, and they're all about taking a long-term view of markets, being diversified, having a plan and sticking with that plan. And I think when markets go up, when markets go down, those are the principles we come back to. It's hard to have a view on short-term what's going to happen on markets, but those investing principles we think work. And you're seeing it this year where a diversified portfolio, European stocks are doing well, gold's doing well. There's assets that are performing well. So our clients that have taken that advice are hanging in there.
So retail investors are often painted with a brush where they buy Bitcoin and Tesla and AMC and GameStop, and then they hold the breath and keep buying when things go down. What is the picture of the retail client of Charles Schwab that you're going after?
Well, we see 7 million plus trades a day. We see more than 2 times the trades of any other retail brokerage. So we do feel like we have a pulse on how retail investors trade. And I think they trade very thoughtfully. We've got a range of investors, some of who are buying Tesla, who have been invested in Bitcoin and made a lot of money doing so. But we also have a lot of investors that play for the long term. But I think, you know, our investors are really thoughtful. They're engaged. They listen to your show. They listen to Lizanne and Jeff Kleintop and our thoughtful analysts. They're trying to make the right long-term decision for them and their financial plan.
I'm getting the sense from you that your investors are not concerned about the uncertainty emanating from Washington, D.C.
I think, again, we try to coach our investors to take a long-term view. I'm sure we have clients that are nervous about whatever the policy of the day may be or the news flow of the day. But in large part, one of the great things about Schwab is we have a lot of different ways to engage clients. We've spoken with over 600,000 clients in the last week. We're able to remind them that they have a plan, that these are the times to stick to their plan, and we try to remove them from the news cycle.
So this is talking to you as a market participant. Let's talk to you as a business leader. You've got to run a company. Right. We're hearing from a lot of companies right now that they're just hitting pause and they're waiting to get clarity on policy. I imagine you're not hitting pause. Can you walk us through what your plan looks like through the next several years?
We're not hitting pause at all. 2025 is a liftoff year for our company. We've spent the last couple of years integrating Ameritrade into Schwab, and now we have the benefit of having the best of everything that Schwab has and the best of everything Ameritrade has for our clients. So the future is all about growth, and we are seeing our growth accelerating through the first quarter. We've seen significant levels of client engagement. So it's for us, from a business standpoint, we are thriving.
So you're not cutting down on travel and forcing everyone to come back to the office and saying, guys, it's time to tighten the ship?
We've not taken any of those actions.
Okay. The reason why we ask is we're wondering how much this is trickling out, although it could be a somewhat counter-cyclical business. As you go forward, when you are expanding, who are you going after at a time where a lot of the big private asset firms are trying to broaden out into private markets for retail clients, and that's the increasing holy grail for a lot of the big banks as well? Who are you going after? Who's your competitor?
Well, in terms of who we're working with, we work with clients across all age and wealth spectrums and advisors of all sizes. We have 1 out of every 6 American households with more than $20 million in our country works with Charles Schwab. And at the same time, we're crushing it with young investors. 60% of our new investors last year were under the age of 40, and a third were under the age of 30. So we are really thriving across age and wealth spectrums. There is a lot of demand for alternative assets, and we're working with great firms like KKR and others that are bringing their capabilities to the retail investor. And I think that's a great thing. Historically, that's been for institutions only, and now we can bring it to our retail clients.
Are other business leaders you talk to as confident and as excited as you are?
Well, their business has their own dynamics. For us, we're in a liftoff here.
Hold on a second.
We're doing well.
The reason why I'm asking is because we've been talking about uncertainty and we're seeing it in the data, whether it's small business confidence, whether it's business confidence more broadly. Are you saying you just don't see it, or are you saying that your business is somewhat immune to it?
We feel like we have an all-weather business model. The news flow, for us, that drives activity and engagement, and it brings investors into the market. And we've had 7-8 million trades a day, which is a lot for our business and drives our economics. So, the market engagement is a good thing for us. At the end of the day, what's most important to us, though, is that our clients are doing well. And that's where we put our energy, into making sure we can help them in the channel of their choice get to where they want to be in their financial life. That's what drives us. When our clients do well, we do well.
Rick, what's it like working with the president? Because you are advising them on this offspin of this Trump-linked truth-fi associated with Trump media.
Well, we've worked with administrations and regulators for 50 years, and we've tried to work with clients across all aisles. We are supportive of our country. We are Americans. We support 44 million American client accounts, and we want investors of all types to do well.
Well, the financial services industry might have a new regulator, and this is a name we've got for you. According to a person familiar with the matter, the Trump administration will nominate Federal Reserve Governor Mickey Bowman as Vice Chair for Supervision as soon as today. You will recall that Michael Barr, of course, resigned earlier on this year as the Fed Vice Chair for Supervision. Mickey Bowman, of course, nominated by President Trump in his first term to become a governor of the Federal Reserve. A lot of people not seeing this as a surprise, I imagine, this morning. This was a name we had in the hat, not just for this role, but also for the Fed Chair role that might open up further down the road.
Right, and this is someone that Trump administration has looked kindly on, first people to put her there in the chair. So this really isn't a surprise, but it is interesting. We are getting some clarity as we keep talking about uncertainty coming out of Washington. This is one place where we do have a name and some clarification.
It also means that she's not going to be nominated to be potentially Fed chair, which opens up the seat to potentially somebody else who seems to maybe want to be Fed chair.
Rick, a final word on regulation. Have you got everything you want?
I think Governor Bowman's going to be a great choice. I've met with her personally. I think she's a very thoughtful person. It's going to be great for the great for supervision.
I imagine a lot of people might agree with you. Rick, it's good to see you, sir. Thanks for breaking things down for us. Appreciate the update.
Thanks for having me on.
And thanks for being a good friend of this program over the years too. We appreciate it. Rick Wurster there, the Charles Schwab CEO.